What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TB Toycast YouTube channel, and today we are unboxing from McFarlane Toys and the Spawn Retro line. It is from Series 5. It is Widowmaker. This is an interesting one. I was unboxing a Spawn figure. It's actually not Spawn. It was from Total Chaos, I believe is what it's called. And the name of the figure is Blitz. Everything was going cool. Looks like a cool figure. Getting it unboxed. The arm fell off. I'm like, okay. Maybe I can get it back together. I couldn't. And then, in the process of trying to finish the video, the other arm fell off, and I'm like, ugh. So I just scrapped the video. I was like, you know what? No, this is not going well. We're gonna call it. And I'm gonna try to put it back together with some Gorilla Glue. Now, typically when you do that, you lose articulation and things of that nature. But it's a display piece, so I'm hoping I can make it work. But I thought, I already had my mind on doing a Spawn figure, so I'm gonna stick with that. And I picked up the next one that I had in line to unbox, which was Widowmaker. So here we are today with Widowmaker. But a cool looking figure. I picked this up at a local toy shop. If you see right there, it was $10, so not an expensive one really. Little bit of damage on the card here, as you can see. But you know what? It's still mint on card. And that's the thing about that Blitz figure. It didn't look bad, but when I got a little bit closer, I noticed one of the joints was a little off looking, and I'm like, I didn't realize that when I bought it. And again, these things are over 20 years old, right? Probably close to 30 years old. Let's see if we can find a copyright on here. Let's get a little closer here. Do we see a copyright? 1996. So yeah, we're like almost, was that almost 30? 96, 2006, 2016, 2026. So nearly 30 years. That's quick math for you. So it's not really surprising that they are possibly falling apart. So that's unfortunately the one of the biggest negative aspects about a vintage figure is you don't know, and it's not been in a factory. It's probably been in someone's basement, someone's attic, someone's garage, and so here you are, and you just are hoping for the best. But Widowmaker looks pretty cool, definitely freaky looking, scary looking figure, that is for sure. Not a lot of female figures in the Spawn line. There are a few. I do have a she-Spawn I need to unbox, and I think I've done an Angela maybe, or a Tiffany. I think maybe both of them, I'm not sure, but although the picture's up there if I have unboxed those. But love the carding here, love the colors, so cool. Todd McFarlane, Spawn, of course, McFarlane Toys, and love all the series. So there's Total Chaos Series 1, as you can see, with a lot of cool figures. I do have a few of these, not a lot though. I do have Dragon Blade, which is a fun one. I need to get more of those. And then, of course, we got Wetworks Series 2 and Series 6 of Spawn. Lots of cool figures there. There's that Super Patriot. That's always a fun one. And then, of course, here's Series 5 of Spawn. So definitely some great figures. A lot more that I want to add. Nuclear Spawn. That's a really cool one. A lot more that I want to add to the collection. So hopefully that'll be something we are able to do down the road here. Of course, a cutout bio trading card. Spawn always had the longer cards, which was interesting. I think if you're a card guy, you may not like that, but it is what it is. Of course, like I said, this came out in 1996, and talks about Total Chaos there and Wetworks, all kind of. But what was cool about these is even though they are like different lines, they're all kind of congruent together. So I thought that was kind of cool, and the carding kind of matched up. To me, that's a super fun thing. And I wish more toy lines did that, quite honestly, but I'm hitting my tripod. I'm trying not to. But yeah, she looks cool. Widowmaker looks cool. Definitely scary looking. Like I said, back in 1996, this was probably like unbelievably cutting edge, like as far as scaring people and stuff like that. I could see a kid going up to his mom, "Hey, can I get this?" She'd be like, "No, I don't think so." She's a demon Spawn. I don't like it, and so on and so forth. But I think people are a tad bit more open-minded nowadays. But of course, this again still probably cutting edge. We are going to open this up. That's what we got to do. Of course, the card was still on there pretty decently, so you can't beat that. Off to the side, we're gonna pull this out. Let's see. Held in with a little bit of tape. This is actually still sticky, believe it or not. Tape that was still sticky 30 years later. Who would have guessed? This is a pretty cool piece here. This wingspan is pretty insane. Not a lot of articulation in the legs, but that's all right. As long as she stands up, I don't think it will be too bothersome. She's got, of course, this is a big weapon in her hand. It's almost like a ball and chain bat or something. I don't know. A little articulation on this guy. Very, very cool. The plastic chain, of course. Slides right in the hand, just like so. Yeah, but look at these wings. These are all articulated. Very, very cool. Like, this is one of those where you could really do something on a shelf, but you could also pull it all down and kind of make it a shelf saver if you wanted to. I think that's actually kind of a... Oop. I hope I didn't just break that. Did I just break that? Looking like it. Unless there's a... Oh yeah, that broke. Man, I am not having luck with Spawn today. Again, I might be able to fix this with a little bit of glue, but the articulation's definitely going to suffer. Maybe I'm too rough on these. I don't know. I'm trying not to be, but what are you going to do? Let's see here. I guess this can kind of connect to this arm. Maybe right here. Maybe not. I don't know. That's where I would think it would go. Like I said, not the best of luck with the wings. Let's see if she stands up well. She's kind of wanting to lean. Yeah, the thing is, without the leg articulation, really, you're hoping to line up these boots. The problem is she's got a lot of weight on the back end, so it's going to lean her forward, which is what I'm running into. There we go. We'll call that a win. The sucks is these wings fell off. You can see right there. That is right where the peg broke. And I didn't feel like I put a lot of force on it, but I guess, just enough. But maybe a little Gorilla Glue. I don't know. That's the peg right there. Oh man, yeah, I just broke right off. So I don't know. Maybe we can figure something out. I guess we'll know when I put the pictures up. But yeah, Spawn is not having a lot of luck with this, and I think that it's weird when something like that happens. It kind of takes your whole mindset of okay, I don't even really want. I think if I had a little plastic something, I could probably slide that in there. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to kind of work with that, of course. But when you have a figure and you have bad luck with it, it kind of sours you on anything in that realm. Again, at least it does for me. How do you guys feel about that? If you had a wrestling figure break, you're gonna be like, oh, I don't want any. To me, I'm like, I don't want any wrestling figures. They're crap. You kind of are mad because you've wasted time, wasted money, most likely, and you're like, for what? And like I said, this figure's not probably going to be the most durable either. It doesn't look bad with the one wing. I'm wondering if I can somehow balance, if I were to put this on a shelf, if I could balance this to where it didn't, even if it wasn't connected, and I'll throw it down. I could, maybe do something like that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe. She's not balanced enough on her feet that where I feel like that's going to work. That's another problem. These are, if we had a little bit of knee articulation, I feel like you could do some adjustments on this. But that is obviously not the case. But I don't know. Maybe I hold off on other Spawn figures at least for a while. I don't know. I mean, I like to get them. Like I said, $10 investment. I'm not super upset. Now, if this was a $50 figure, would I be upset? Oh, you betcha. But $10, I'm like, it could be worse. I don't know. I'm trying to set this up, but it's not wanting to work. I don't know. But what do you guys think? Do you guys collect Spawn? Are you into Spawn? I guess I'll set that to the side. To me, they're fun. Not the most pertinent collection that I have, but they're fun. There's something different. There's something unique. So it'll be something I probably do collect from time to time. I do have a few more figures to unbox I would like to get to at some point. But I'll be honest, I'm a little gun shy now. When you have one that breaks, and then another one that breaks, it's like, ugh, do I want to keep doing this? This is really becoming a pain. Because here's what I'm looking at. If I glue that wing back on, will it throw off the balance and she's not even able to stand up? Because that could be what you're looking at. Now, obviously you could say, oh, put a stand on it. There's no peg hole there. So that stand's not going to work. At least not a traditional stand. So, I don't know. 6 and 1, half a dozen of the other. But what are you going to do? It is definitely interesting. But like I said, I love the Spawn line, especially the 90s version. I know that McFarlane was making a lot of Spawn figures within the last couple of years. That seems to have slowed down. I don't know if it's completely stopped, but not nearly as much. Obviously, the McFarlane license is losing. The McFarlane company, I should say, is losing the DC license. So I feel like in the next few years we're probably going to see, obviously more Mortal Kombat are coming. I would not be shocked if we do not see more Spawn down the road and other licenses. I mentioned this in the Transformers video earlier this week. I would love to see McFarlane do the Office figures. They're doing statues, so they've got the license, but I would love to see action figures. Why not? I mean, there's so many ways they could do that. From the multiple heads to the one-off appearances. Like, you could obviously do the main cast, but then give us, Jim Halpert dressed as Dwight Schrute from that classic episode, or Funko's definitely done a good job with this. Whatever it might be, Michael in one of his costumes, or he's in the fat suit, or Prison Mike with the bandana, which would be a nice like second head for a regular Michael Scott figure. All those would be so much fun. And The Office is still a pretty big show, so who's to say it won't happen? I would like to see it, and maybe with McFarlane losing DC, they think about other things. Okay, well, maybe let's try this, let's see what happens. Maybe let's try that, let's see what happens. But maybe their license is only for statues. Obviously, we know they can't make Marvel figures, they're just doing Marvel statues, so I guess time will tell, as it were. But that's all I got for this. Of course, check out my other unboxing videos. We had 3 really fun unboxings last week. We started it off with Coco Beware from the Hastel Toy Grapplers and Gimmicks line. Really fun figure. Itchy and Scratchy followed that on Wednesday from the Simpsons Jax 2.5-inch line. And then on Friday we did from Major and the Big Rubber Guys All Ego Ethan Page. A lot of fun unboxings there. And then this week, if you have missed them, we unboxed Batman from the DC McFarlane, another McFarlane figure, Super Friends line. Really fun. And then on Wednesday we went back to the world of Transformers and Crosscut from the Transformers line from Hasbro. A lot of fun there. And then, of course, Widowmaker today. Of course, check out What's on the Pegs, dropping every Saturday for a deep dive into what I'm finding out there in my toy hunts. And then check out Tales of the Toy Box, dropping once a month. Episode 4 is up as of right now, and it is all about Toy Biz X-Men. So check that out as well. Check out the TB Toycast podcast every Thursday, wherever you get your podcast. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you guys for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. That's Widowmaker. And we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.